Africa could get hit by a tropical storm, which is pretty rare. So I'll show you what's going on, and then this storm may continue to intensify and it may come close to the United States. I will go over the system in this video. It's CBF Cyclones, Sunday, August 10th, 2025. Starting with Invest 96L, I do not expect this to develop. They for some reason have the center down here, but it looks like it's up here because it looks like it's rotating counterclockwise. But then when I turn the wind on, there isn't anything going on, so this just does not have a defined center at all, and I do not expect it to develop. And then Invest 97L, the chances have been rocketing up for development. If I show you the area for development, that's the Eastern Pacific. First of all, there's Hurricane Henriette in the Eastern Pacific, just north of the Hawaiian Islands. That intensified into a hurricane earlier today. It's forecast to reach a peak intensity of 105 mile an hour sustained winds, which is a Category 2 hurricane. And then there's also Tropical Storm Ivo, which currently has 40 mile an hour sustained winds and is starting to weaken and should dissipate very soon. Anyway, back to the Atlantic. If you look, this is a very big area for development, and you see the Cabo Verde Islands, which is part of Africa, are in the middle of it early on, and the chances are already to 50% chance of development in the next 2 days. So this may be a tropical depression as it hits the Cabo Verde Islands, and it is also already kind of organized. But it'll likely, over the next 24 to 48 hours, get more organized as time moves along. The European model, so the models have changed a lot from yesterday. Because this is developing much earlier than anticipated, it'll also start to strengthen earlier than anticipated. So every model is showing it staying away from land. And then there's some models showing it maybe hitting the Bahamas. The GFS model shows it curving into the Atlantic way early. And the Canadian model, this is the one that kind of shows it hitting the Bahamas. It gets it pretty close, but not super close necessarily. And then I'll be watching for the Northern Caribbean also. And then the Icon model, it's got to load. It also shows it turning north very early and then having no effect on the Northern Caribbean. But the reasoning for this, if it does develop earlier, it'll have more time to strengthen, and then there's a steering current. I don't know if I can show you. So this steering current, this high pressure, stronger storms are more likely to be influenced by that rather than weaker storms, so it will turn sooner and quicker, I guess you could say, as a stronger storm rather than if it were a weaker storm, if that makes sense to anyone. It's kind of complicated, but it happened with Beryl, where there was a situation like that where it could have, so I'll show you what happened. It was July. That's 2025. So what happened with Beryl was a couple days. So it made landfall as a 90 mile an hour Category 1 hurricane, and if it had been weaker, it probably would have hit Mexico or Texas, like right here. But if it had kept intensifying, it probably would have kept going, and maybe even hit a little part of Louisiana. But since it stayed it did end up getting a little stronger than anticipated originally, but so it did end up hitting Houston and bringing a major impact to Houston and areas around Houston. But that's why it happens, if that makes sense to anyone. So that's it for today, guys. I'll be monitoring the system. Thanks for watching, and see ya.